Hello, hello. How's it going? Sorry, I made you wait on that screen for a bit. Hello, Rose. How's it going? Hey, Terry. I'm having trouble deciding on my thread color. Do I do cream or white? You know? I don't know. I feel like this is more of a white than a cream. You know? Hey, Dawn. Hi, Anne. Did you get classes for Sew Expo, Anne? Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Sue. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Donna. Hello. Help! I didn't even notice till you said that. But I figure, you know, we're all pretty good at deciphering typos. Hey, Margaret. How's it going? So, yeah, I am kind of considering doing like a top stitch thread. And then, I don't know. Maybe I should match? You're in big trouble. Yeah, that actually would that. Oh, you aren't, Anne? Oh, I'm not either. I really loved it, though, so I don't want people to think it's because of any reason for on that, you know, basis. I loved teaching. I loved being there. I just didn't find out soon enough. So, yeah. It looks more white than white. Yeah, I don't know. Or do you think I should match? I feel like I've sewn this color a few times. Like I made Creston jeans and I made contrast thread. And maybe that's kind of skewing me. Oh, got it, Anne. That's nice. You're on a visit there now. I didn't even think about, like I considered matching briefly. There's a skein of thread I've never used before. There we go. I mean, I could match. Hi, Francis. How's it going? Not in cones. I mean, wait, where's those dusty pink cones? Don't I have dusty pink cones? Yeah, where are those at? What the heck? Oh, maybe they're at home. I don't know why they would be, though. Because these are too, you know, these are too dark. This is too bright. Why do I want the contrast? That's a good question. I could do dark. I don't know. I think I was having trouble not picturing it that way, and I'm realizing that it doesn't have to be that way. Yep. Hi, Elizabeth. How's it going? Hi, Julie. Hi, Fiona. Would one reel be enough? You mean like one cone? Well, what I would do when I do like a thicker thread on top, I will do the thicker thread or 2 cones, and then I just do a regular weight underneath. Where are those pink cones? That's so weird. They're not over here either. That's funny. I truly just don't know why those would be missing. I don't know. I'm really torn. I don't know. The little one. Oh, would one of these be enough? These spools are just barely enough for one project. You're probably right. It's probably not, because if you want a French seam or flat fell. So, yeah. Hi, Elizabeth. How's it going? 2 Elizabeths. Yeah, tucks, French seams, flat fell. If I have a second cone or whatever that's kind of similar, I do have these two. Oh, I just grabbed that. Oh no, this is, never mind. Dang. I have to have a matching bobbin because of the tucks. I don't know what to do. I didn't realize this until just a second ago. Oh, what was that? Okay. Let's just change my needle and think about it. Also, a couple of things, a couple of housekeeping things. I probably should have already said, but one of which is as far as using my live stream as a tutorial, that's great. I'm just telling people right off the bat, I sew this however I want, but I do try and respect the instructions. As far as lately, I try and do it in the same order as the instructions go, and then I will tell you if I'm doing it differently or give you hints about that. Like I'm going to be doing the pocket differently, but you know, there's excellent instructions. You know, you can do the pocket how they do it, right? So I just want to be clear about that. I'm not paid or anything like that. So expecting me to make this a tutorial exactly like the instructions, that's not going to happen. I'll do whatever I want. So, yeah, I could, Angela. That's a lot of, the bobbin situation with the industrial is, you know, like I usually have 2 bobbins per color. This is what we got. So yeah, we're not, wouldn't it be nice if these 2 were that? Because I'm kind of like open to doing a darker color. What do we think of a darker color? Yeah, maybe. This is why I do a lot of contrast thread, to be honest. No, it's not, but you know. I love how you guys call those reels. Yes, they were my dusky pink, they're small cones. Am I imagining those? Yeah, exactly. This one. Oops. What other contrast colors could go with this? Hello, Rachel. Rachel should, she's not going to see this right away, but she should just fast forward. Someone message her, text her, or write in the chat, Rachel, just fast forward, you're not missing anything. You like the darker one? I kind of like the darker one too. Like I actually kind of like that vibe. Let's do it. Let's do it. But dang, my kingdom for more bobbins. This is one way I get rid of bobbins, like this. Here's another low one. We need bobbins. Thank you, Terry. And I told her to say that. She's not being disrespectful. Okay. We're going for it. I know some of you are not going to like the darker color, but I think it'll be like a contrast of a different kind, you know? Wait, we have 2, right? Yeah. Okay, let's put these away. Get them all out of the way. My top stitch thread is all like neutrals. Oh, and I wore my shirt today, so you could see it. Crackles? Am I crackling? I hope not. All right, so here's my shirt. What is this? Oh, that's just the wrinkle on top. That's my pocket. Okay. So you can see how it fits. I cut 1 size lower. I love this shirt. Like I love the way it fits. I love the way it hangs. It's just so comfortable. I was thinking about making the cuff narrower though. Oh, you have crackles. Okay. You're double speeding. Love it. I usually have 2 bobbins of this color. It's not one I use very often. I usually have 2 bobbins of it. Okay, the other thing I wanted to say and stress is that I may have said something yesterday that, I don't know, gave you guys the impression that I like dislike zero waist patterns, and I don't dislike them. I don't tend to like most of the styles that come about with zero waist patterns because, like I said, a lot of them use a lot of fabric. And they're just not a style that I like or wear, you know. I picked this because I like the design, not because it's zero waist. I think zero waist is a great conversation to have, but I personally, I could talk about it for like a couple hours because I've been doing this a long time. I've been in the garment industry and it's awful. Straight up, it's awful. So I think that there is a definite need for less waste in the world. I don't think home sewers are the problem. And I'm pretty responsible with my waste. I save all of my scraps and I compost them. So yeah, that's not something that I worry about. I feel like buying less is really the key, you know, if you're going to really get into the nitty-gritty of it. I think a lot of people don't like zero waste because they feel guilty somehow that they're being called out, you know, so like I said, I could talk for hours about this. I think if you're someone who makes patterns, drafts patterns, the challenge, if you like drafting patterns, your brain is already wired for that kind of thing, and those kinds of problems tickle you. And I think the zero waste challenge is very appealing. So I get that attraction. Having limitations sometimes is a really fun design challenge. My tension's going to be really terrible because I was using top stitch thread last time I sewed on here. I think I made, well, did I make the Glover jean jacket? No, I did a tutorial. That's where it was. I listened to the live stream late and was curious about the zero waste for that reason. You may waste less, but you use more in the process to waste less. Am I getting that right? Oh, I don't know about that. I think it just depends. I mean, that's why I say, like, some patterns, it'll take like 7 yards, and I'm like, okay, that's a lot of fabric, you know? And if you have to go and buy that, then, you know, there's a lot of things to think about. Being, all this time I thought my bobbin was winding. I didn't click it over. And I'm like, let me just get my tension right. We'll just get some bobbin going. We only need about like a little less than half, and then we can start the other one, and it'll wind wildly so. I think like the whole zero waste discussion is a very charged one. So, yeah, exactly. Wait, what am I doing? Oh, this is the wrong color. That's why. Not all of them, though. Like this one. This one, I used more yardage than it calls for because I cut it on the grain. And I just bought 2.5 yards, probably at the time not knowing it was going for this shirt. I had an idea, but I didn't have the shirt in front of me, so I couldn't figure it out when I was buying it. So, oh, that's great. Yeah, that's great, Terry. I have my directions here, but I stopped it like down there, the back neck facing, because I was chatting with my office mate. So, I have my cheat sheet. I always write a cheat sheet, and I did write it in the order of the sewing instructions, so I can try and be helpful for those needing any assistance along the way. But yeah, like I said, I sew how I want. I'll probably be doing a combination of flat fell and French seams today. And the first thing we're going to do is mark our tucks. But we can also rearrange our bin a little bit and put it in a better order. What is this right here? That's my pocket. Okay. So we want to get our right front out, which is right on top here. And then we're going to do our pocket and our yoke, the placket, the sleeve placket, center back seam, pleat, back neck facings. This is actually going to go at the underneath all that with that. And then we also need to assemble our binding. So yeah, let's hope I cut enough. But if I didn't, we still have some fabric. Let's do this. I decrease my stitch length when I'm piecing binding. This is the Brussels washer linen. So I think it's a combo of cotton and linen, and then I always, my one danger when I'm piecing binding together that has no right or wrong side is I promise you at some point I'm going to accidentally flip over the the binding and it'll be wrong. Okay, so this is my wrong side. Facing up, wrong side, okay? I'm saying that out loud for me. Because I always have one, and then I'm attaching it to the hem, and I'll be like, shoot, I have to like stop and repiece it. I usually also trim these little corners off. I also don't do what I'm doing right. Look, I've already done this wrong. How did I do that? Yeah, I think this is kind of cool. It's got kind of the warp and weft were two different yarn colors. So I usually take one of these. This is the way you get this level. Just get it started on here, however you can. And then if you keep this flat on the table and wind it up, it'll be nice and level. If you have the time, I would press all of these open as well. Like with the iron, get them nice and flat. We're gonna do this quicker. Oh wait, actually I did do this right, I think. Yeah, use the method that works for you. Some people really like the continue. See, look, I literally did this already wrong. That's so funny. Live on, like I told you I would do it wrong. Okay, so this is the wrong side. Okay, so I have to do that. If you're watching this in the future, you can just fast forward through this part. You think it's going to take me forever to do this, but I promise it won't be bad. This linen is loosey-goosey though. Ooh. For binding. There are a few bindings I do not like sewing. Linen is one of them, and I mean, it's fine. Double guys, that's the worst. Oh, that's right. Linen rayon. Thank you. It's the other one that is linen cotton. Hi, Justine. Yeah, and to get these joins even, you line them up so that they're intersecting. See how I'm lining? I don't line up the edge so that they meet point to point. You want to offset it. And this little juncture right here, that, when you measure from this point here to this edge, that should be your seam allowance. So you overlap this, and it's like a, you know, perpendicular measurement to that. Well, not perpendicular, but from this point, well, it's perpendicular to this edge, straight to there. That is your seam allowance. And then you'll get a nice, smooth binding. Yeah, Essex, exactly. I thought this was Essex, and that's originally why I said that to people. I was like, oh, I'm making it in Essex. This has a lot more drape than the Essex. I still feel like it could be, but, you know, whatever. It is what it is. I'll confirm it later. It's got a lot of movement. I doubt this is enough binding. It's hard to wind too. This linen is a little bit funky to rein in. See, it keeps wanting to do that. Yeah, see, like that one I did a bigger seam allowance, so I just trim it down like that. And then it's still flush, top and bottom. This is one of those things, I know people say that they always get it wrong. I did too. Like I did, and you know what? I just sat there and figured it out to where it was logical for me, because I had a business where I had decided that I wanted to bind all the seams of our products. So I had to figure it out, and I had to make it logical for me, because I had to learn how to do it too. It's not like, oh, I've always done this binding trick so good, I'm going to design a product around it. Oh, no. I wanted to use an outer fabric. I wanted to use a stiffener. And I didn't want the lining to be like loose in the inside of the bag. That's kind of a pet peeve for me. I really like it when it's flush and it's not like ballooning inside the bag. So I was like, well, if you want that, it's got to be flush with the outer and the stiffener. And that meant binding. Okay, one more seam, and then we'll start marking our tucks on our right front. Am I doing this wrong? Yeah, there we go. That's how it is. Okay. I was. I was about to do one wrong. We get everything prepped and ready so that we don't have to stop and do this later. Speak for yourself, Dawn. I never said it took more or less thinking. I just don't use the continuous method. That's not the method that like made sense to me at the time. So I got to know this. Plus, when you're using the continuous method, you have to draw in all of your lines. And I definitely didn't want to do that step. You have to offset it. And when I was making binding, we were usually doing an entire 44-inch long piece. Whatever the width of the fabric was, we would cut a length the same as the width so that we would have a square. We cut the selvages off, and then we would fold it and cut it, and then we would seam it. So I feel like continuous took a lot longer, and we timed it live on camera. So yeah, I mean, if you like continuous, please do it. I'm not saying it's bad. It's great. All right, we have our right and left front. Ooh, when we iron this, it's gonna get so big. It's so rumply. Okay, and so this is my right side. See, it's the one here, right? So we're gonna mark our tucks on here. I got the most beautiful hero marker for Christmas from my husband. It's at home, but it's a wooden hero marker with all this inlay in it. It's so pretty. I love it. I may have to bring it here just so I use it. I want to make sure I'm using it. Maybe I just need two. Well, there you go, Justine. Okay, so I wrote down how this is marked along the top here for this particular front. So your first marking is 1.5 inches in, and this is for the placket, okay? Placket. And then you have another one that is 2.25 inches. Oh, sorry, I meant to write down the metric for you guys, and I forgot. 2.25 right here. So this is the placket right here. This is the space between the placket and the tucks, and then we're going to start our tucks. And they're 1 inch apart, and there's 6 of them. So we have one here. And then we're just going to do something visible right now. So we have one, won't slide on there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's cool, Dawn. All right. You don't actually need to cut these. I'm not going to cut any more of these. We're going to do the same thing at the bottom now. Sorry. I'll do it this way. Save me some time. I love how she marked these tucks because, or I say she, I'm just assuming, but I love how the tucks are marked on this because they're marked so that this little slit here is the center of the tuck. Why do I have so many notches at the bottom here? We're gonna, I'm gonna mark these with marker as well, but I'm also gonna flip them over. So that way, when it's in the center, it's great because you can just fold down the middle. I have some notches at the bottom of this for some weird reason. They're probably just little things on my fabric. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I may have one more too many. Here's my first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we don't need this one down here. My bad. You only need 6 notches. So don't do this one. Seam back, sewing over long nose. What is it? Oh, a hero marker? It's this little guy. I love this thing because, and mine's obviously seen better days now, but you can draw on your fabric with it. Can you see those lines that I made? Wait. You see these lines right there? They're a little more prominent to me. On camera, they don't show up really great, but I just love it because they work on just about any fabric, maybe not like fake fur. And then it just makes a little indent in the fabric. And so you don't have to worry about compatibility with chalk or ink or whatever. This is one of my go-tos as far as things go. All right, we're going to go to the iron. Okay. So our first one was this one. So we're going to fold along that first one there. Anytime I'm doing tucks, I know they call these pin tucks, but they're actually not pin tucks, they're just tucks. And because pin tucks, they're like the width of a pin. So these right here, as long as we keep it the same, so this should be 1.5, 2 1/4. It should be like 3 3/4, right? Yeah, 3 3/4 for this first one. I can't see chat, sorry. Start off right, like make your first one. Take some time. It gets a lot easier. It'll be a lot easier if you start off right. Okay, there we go. I'll put my chat on my phone. Yeah, I have ads. Ugh, there we go. Where's the chat? Do I do this? Oh, there it is, there it is. Okay. There we go. Yeah, exactly. They always show up well in person, not so much on camera. Sometimes it's like a little shiny line. All right, and now I'm just going to flatten this out a little bit. We're going to do this for every inch now. What's my method for doing this? I do this. And then, yeah, you do this so you can measure from the last one. Plus, you don't want to accidentally iron out anything you've already done. So if you can see your fold here and you're moving it away from you, you can keep your iron on this little edge here, you know? So here's our notch at the top and the bottom. The prep takes a little bit, but once you have these ironed, it'll be so fast and you can trust your spacing. You know what it is? Do I do the first one like far away and then go? No, I feel like this is feeling awkward for some reason. Oh well, anyway. Just trying to make sure that you have a nice parallel fold to your last one. Did you say that's funny? I get ads? Oh yeah, I definitely get ads. YouTube's like, we don't care. This is your own channel. I also will count as a view because sometimes what I do is, you know, I will make a video for a client and then I will make sure that it's working. Everything's like looking good. And I can see that that one view is me, which used to throw me off because there is sometimes the possibility if I upload a video that's private, like say I don't want you guys to see it yet, if I put it in a playlist and someone happens to be in that playlist, they will see it. And so that really has thrown me off in the past, where I'm like, why does this video have 23 views? What a weird number. It's not live. And I've learned to not put things in a playlist until it's public. So it is also how I can know if my client has seen the video. So yeah. Start at the end worked. Well, I just don't want to accidentally undo my folds. And then this way. You are thinking, dang, her tucks are going to be so good. Mine are always wonky. Trust me when I tell you, I will have wonky tucks, okay? No matter what I do here, I will have some wonky tucks. I have a couple on the shirt I'm wearing now, and did you notice? No. I could be more accurate about this, but, you know, we all have lives, so... Okay, this is my last one. Okay. This is like pulling over here. I think 98% of sewing is just fabric handling. You the boss of this, you know? This looks wider and I can see it, and it is wider. So this will be the fold line of the tuck, and then our job will be to sew at 1/4 inch to this fold. Mine either, Jan. I always find, like, sometimes I will get so distracted when something doesn't line up with my intuition. I'm like, wait, why did I think that was going to be like that, and why isn't it like that? And I will 100% get, like, lost in that. Oh, I almost slipped on this cuff down here. You know what I mean? Like, I will sometimes get so distracted by the fact that it wasn't how I thought it was going to be. Dang it! Then I'll forget to sew the project, you know. So, yeah, this fabric is a little loosey-goosey. Okay, so I think I just did my bobbin. We are good to go. So now we're going to hopefully sew these 1/4 inch parallel to one another. And I'm going to start to the placket edge. So my stitch length is really short there. I can already see this looks narrower here than there. This is a good argument for cutting on grain. If you don't cut on grain, sometimes these kinds of things in certain fabrics, they really work against you. You know what I mean? All right, oh, one thing to think about with this is the way I'm sewing this right now, my bobbin thread is going to be the visible thread because all these tucks push that way. If you don't like your bobbin, I'm going to go from the bottom up now so that I can make it my top thread that's showing. Almost everybody's top thread looks better. question, sewing on the wrong side. What does that mean? What do you mean, Jan? I don't think you can sew on the wrong side with tucks. All your tucks would be inside the garment then. Is that what you mean? This is what I need to pull. I still don't understand your question. I'm sorry. I want really tiny back stitches, but I'm definitely doing back stitches because once we iron this, we're going to be ironing the heck out of it, right? Oh, okay, got it. Okay, yeah, my bobbin was on the top, so that's why I switched over. My tucks look a little wavy, and that's because my fabric is unironed. It'll be fine. I'm trying not to pull at all. I'm just making sure I don't get the other side. Like this one here. 3 more. I think I like thread color. Also try and keep this like lined up along here. See how it wants to dip below? That's probably because I'm not lining it up down there very well. So, you know, we can pull this down to a better height if you guys like. What do you think? Don't you think this cuff is a little big? It's a little big, right? It's a little white too for the camera. There. Two more. This is such a manageable amount of tucks to do, you know? Pull it down there. Our next thing that we're going to do is stay stitch the neck. And then I'll put the pocket on since I'm doing that a little differently. We always want to make our pieces whole, you know, like when you're thinking about order of operations. First thing you do, make all your pieces whole. So now this is whole, right? Yeah, the tucks are well spaced. Let's see though. Let's see really how well spaced my sewing made them. They look good right now, kind of. Some of you probably remember that. I had this little white top that I did not make. It was by April Cornell, of all companies, who a lot of people know from like tablecloths and things like that. And I love this little top. It was so versatile. It had little tucks down the front, and then they released at the hem. And I copied it one year on the stream. And one of the aggravating things about that particular shirt, what is this right here? Was that there was this one tuck in the back that they were on the back like this, and then it mirrored the same, like it was like about the same amount and then mirrored. There was always one tuck that did this. No matter what I did, I always had to iron it out of the laundry. All the others, perfect. They were great. And it was such a mystery. It really plagued me because I thought about it. I sometimes would think about it, you know, out of the blue. Like it would pop into my head. Why did that happen? Did they run out of bobbin there? And did they is there like a back stitch pushing it that way? Is it not spaced perfectly? Like I would lose time of my life thinking about this problem that I never figured out. And I think that I finally think I did figure it out. And I think that just right there, for just that little 5-inch section, the tuck was just one needle width narrower. It looked perfectly spaced, but I think it was narrower, and that pulled it to pressing the other way. And who knows, maybe what happened while it was going through the tuck machine, you know, but it was kind of funny. So not bad. If you wanted the shirt to be symmetrical, could you just make 2? Yeah, you could. Yeah, and then you would just probably skip the pocket. You could do the drop pocket, though, because it's behind. But yeah, you could. What do you mean on fabric like mine? If you want the shirt to be symmetrical, could you just make 2 of that fabric on fabric like... I mean, yeah, on any fabric, I think. So, yeah. All right, so now we have this shirt, and we need our pocket. And so, like I said, I'm doing a drop pocket. That's this side here. And I have little notches right here. Right here. Right? We saw me notch them. Where is it? What the heck? Well, shoot dang. We saw those notches. What was it, on the yoke? Weird. There's one. All right, well, we want about a 3/4 inch hang off here. So I'm gonna put my other notch right here. Let's see what this is, roughly. It's like 4 3/4. That's fine for a chest pocket. All right, so we're gonna bind this little section right here. And I'm going to stop right at the notch there. Like that. Gonna let this hang off. I'm gonna press it. Oh, I just did the tucks, Tiffany. So now I'm just putting the pocket on the other front. So then our fronts will be whole. And I'm doing a drop pocket on this one. I'm going to cut down to that seam right there where I stopped sewing through all layers with the worst scissors ever. And then I'm going to press it down with that seam allowance poking up. Now that seam allowance is not enough. We need to do a wider seam allowance here because we're going to do a French seam. So let's see, if I did a wider seam allowance, would I have enough binding? Probably not. So I'm going to take this out real quick and just slide it down a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of rude, Tiffany. They're making you work in the office. You're trying to watch a live stream at work. It's so warm in my office. I'm doing a French seam, so I need that seam allowance, you know, to be, I mean, you need the seam allowance to be accurate either way, right? So I was sort of shooting myself in the foot by putting that right up against. So we're just going to lower this down a little bit. Get rid of some of these threads. And do the exact same thing. And I'm going to do it on close to the seam line. So I can line this up, this edge up here. What's the seam allowance on this? I think that the center back is 5/8. I actually didn't see it for the yoke. I'm just going to do it at like 1/2 inch or a little bit more. Like that. All right, and then we'll cut to that. Cut to this. Wow, really? Another storm already? Dang. I'm going to trim this seam allowance down. So if I were to draft this into my pattern, it would look like that, the cut edge. And then that's why, then I wouldn't have made that error. But I didn't do that because I didn't want to change the pattern. And so then now we can press this to the inside, and we're only binding this to the inside. And then our seam allowances are sticking up so that they're available. And now we can turn this under. Now my binding's a little bit too wide, which I expected. I didn't want to just take my wider seam allowance just in case it made it too hard to wrap around the edge there. But I could have, because I ended up only doing like 1/2, so, and I just trimmed off 1/4. So yeah, it could have worked. Sometimes you get lucky like that. All right. Now, one of the important things about doing these drop pockets is leaving, like, you know, leaving this loose right here. I'm just pressing this a little better. Okay. Hey, Barbara, how's it going? And now I'm going to actually, because it looks nicer, I'm going to go like this straight down and then across the binding. It looks nicer because, I don't know, when you have that little back stitch right there, it can look like a ball of thread, and I think that's how my shirt that I'm wearing looks. So I'm just going to start up here. I'm going to zoom in as well. I think we can zoom. Why does it go dark like that? They really need to fix this. It undoes all of my settings, and it's aggravating because like the settings are still there. So then if I change it, I'm actually doing something different than I had before. It's really, I don't know how to explain it. All right. Hi, Lydia. How's it going? All right. So I'm just in the seam allowance. I'll do my back stitch up here, come down to that edge, turn. Oh, I could have understitched this. That would have been nice too. Some fabrics you'll probably find that is a good idea. Or didn't really get that very smooth. Okay, there we go. So it looks like this from the right side. It's a little wobbly. I figured out when I got down here, I was like, well, that's a little narrower down there. Yeah, this fabric's kind of interesting, huh? It's just the Brussels washer linen. So then now we have our pocket piece here. And this is going to go over this. We're going to turn under the edge. And we're just going to top stitch it down like a patch pocket. So we need to decide how long we want this pocket. I'm going to go with this right here. And I'll tell you what that is in just a second. Let me make sure I have the same size, and I don't. Okay. Cut this off. So this is about, it's 6 inches wide. That's the original pattern piece, and I did it 6.5 inches long. So now we're gonna go press this under. It's like a, see how it has a warp and weft that are different colors? Let me see, this is on grain, like that. And it's unironed. That's why it has all that texture. These little diagonal things, they really are prominent on camera. It doesn't really look like that. Oops. All right, so this is my narrower length. So we're gonna do these 3 sides here. See Terry, this is where we want our bias folding bars. Where are those things? Right, like little pieces of metal that we slip under, fold the fabric around. But they would get hotter than Hades. You know that some of those silicone hemmers, you know, that like Generate's made, that would be really useful here. Just because my linen really wants to go on vacation, you know, it's like wibbly wobbly. Normally I would do these 2 sides first, then this one. I don't know why I just did that. It'll make the points more symmetrical, but you know, we're stitching this on the inside of the shirt, so it's not a big deal. Whoa, what was that? Now we'll put this one up. But if we were doing a patch pock on the right side, it would be better to do it that way. Getting faint waves of bluish when on the table, not close up. Interesting. You know what it is if red could be a denim, that's kind of how it looks to me. You know, but it's not a twill weave. So, okay, so now we're going to position this over here. Woof. I barely made this wide, and my pocket is almost too big. We're really going to struggle to get it in there. So I'm centering this over this. I'm going to just stitch or pin this down for now. And then we're going to tuck the ends of the binding under the pocket there and enclose it all right here. So I'm just going to trim this down. Like that. And then this one a little bit more. Whew. I really cut it close with that pocket opening width. And then we'll just lift up this little edge and wrap it around there and make sure we enclose it in there. Yeah, I'm going to do it that way. There's barely enough room for it. Like that. And I would like it to meet at the top here. There we go, lined up. So like this. So yeah. This was one of the fabrics I bought in my snit of learning what colors I'm supposed to be wearing. I don't know why I took that so personal, because I see people take it so personal. I'm like, why are you taking it so personal? Like, those are nice colors. And then when it happened to me, I was like, I don't wear that. I thought I liked everything. Oof. So in my defense, this is looking like this because I've ironed the heck out of it, right? And that's why my pocket opening was working before, and now it's kind of not. So I could iron this pocket and get it wider, and then it would, see how it's going to lay flush. So we're going to be okay once this is all said and done. It's washed, right? So, all right, so now we're going to enclose this, and we're just going to stitch it down. Why not just turn it? This is my own pocket, so if you do the instructions, you're doing a patch pocket. So I really like drop pockets. I think they're kind of elegant. I think it looks really good on this shirt too. And you can use all the pieces that it comes with. All right, let's look at this a little straighter. All right, and now I'm going to make sure that it's enclosed here at the top. See how it's lifting up right there? But we're going to enclose this in the seam. So we don't really have to worry about it, but I'm just going to stitch it down like this. And then when we go to do that seam, we're going to pull this pocket down like this out of the way so we don't catch the top edge. So there we go. Why not just turn this? You could. Is that what you mean by the opening there? But it really just blends in, huh? Could you? The problem with just turning it is that you would have raw edges right here. So you could do that, especially if you... Actually, you could use the seam allowance as your bias binding. Yeah. I do think that you would have these raw edges right there, though. Yeah. So, see, look, I'm getting them right there. So this, we're gonna do this. We're gonna stitch down. Oh my gosh, that just went horribly wrong. I'm gonna go over across right here, because I really want to make sure my pocket is secure. I actually am regretting doing this, but whatever. It's fine. How did I figure this out? Like doing the drop pocket? Oh, I don't know. I love drop pockets. I just know how to draft them. There's a lot of ways to draft them. No, use the longer side. Wait, why not just turn it? I'm sorry, Dawn, I don't understand. Yeah, so one of the things about this is that this secures the pocket to the garment. If you don't want visible stitching, you have to have two. You have to have a top pocket and you have to have an under pocket. And then it hangs, and that's why it's called a drop pocket. This pocket 100% will be used. Dang, Tiffany, that's crazy. I think I'm not understanding a couple of you. I'm so sorry. Yeah, and you can use the facing to create the pocket opening. That sounds like a Wardrobe by Me welt pocket. She does that a lot. But for a drop pocket, you know, you have to have a seam. It's like an inseam pocket, you guys. It's just an inseam pocket. That's all this is. Think of this as like your side seam of your pants, and you only had one pocket per side. Yeah, these are in the pocket skill building session, and I do it I'm not sure, do I do it this way where it's just one layer? But there's a few ways, and you can put a little flap right here. A little flap would be really cute on this. Do I want a flap? Oh, I wasn't quite wide enough for the opening. Oh, yeah. Why not turn it? Well, this was fixed like I was done. I couldn't get my... Oh, you mean turn the pocket. You mean turn it 90 degrees. When you say turn, I thought I was like literally like, oh, you mean like hem it down like this. Turn. Sorry. You never use pockets over your boobs. Yeah, I mean, I like it, a phone pocket right there. I think it'll be useful. Let's get rid of that pattern piece there. All right, so here we have our right front. We have our left front. I think a flap would be cute. We're moving on though. All right, so yeah, yoke is next. I'm going to do a French seam. Oh wait, actually I said stay stitch. We were supposed to do the stay stitching way before all of this stuff. I want to be a good tutorial person. This shirt will absolutely benefit from doing stay stitching, and I should have already done it. I did it the opposite from one another too. Where's the back? Here we go. Let's do the back real quick so we don't forget, because I definitely might. Okay, we're just sneaking the back here. All right. So now let's do our now all this should match. So say a little prayer that it does. Thanks, Barbara. I keep forgetting that I'm wearing the shirt we're making right now. It's kind of funny. So you could do a few different things with this seam. I'm going to do a French seam. But you could do a flat felled seam if you want. I think it'll be a little bulky and hard to deal with the tucks. Not impossible or anything, but... Wish I would have started at the other end though, huh? Let's do our other one. Now this one we will definitely do from the right side, or from the shirt, the lower front side, so that we can see our pocket stitching. I just sewed that like a flat felled seam, not a French seam. I guess we're doing flat felled. That's fine. I like flat felled, but it wasn't on my radar today to deal with that. With the tucks. Oh well. French seam, I would have taken a little less than half the seam allowance on my first pass. I do a lot of flat felling, so I'm not surprised I accidentally just did that. But whatever. I'm going to fold it. Oof. See, on the on that one, on the tuck side, I think folding it up would be easier. or no, folding it down would be easier. But on the pocket side, I think folding it up would be easier. Huh. And I need to iron this because it's not gonna fit if I don't. Because I've ironed this so much now that I'm gonna need to iron at least this down here. I can already see. The shirt's gonna be a lot bigger when I first finish, but then when we wash it, it'll go back to this nice crinkly state. Forget about zero waste. We're a zero iron. I construct my clothes so I have to iron them the least, even though I love ironing. You know, a little less is never a bad thing. Okay. I wonder if we could do a flat felled seam going. Oh man. I need a bigger dip here. Seam allowances are a little iffy here. I think we're going to see some creative seam allowance adjusting there. I mean, I could go. No, I can't. I can't go down. I have to go up. No, I can't even do a flat felled seam here. Because I have raw edges right here. I'm sorry. So what we'll do is a French seam on this side. We'll do a flat felled seam on the other. When this one's top stitched, it'll look like that a little bit. I didn't think this through, did I? I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Some things are like, how come I didn't think of that? That's so obvious, but you just don't know sometimes until you're there. And then you're like, oh yeah. I don't like seam ripping this thread color, that's for sure. Good thing we didn't do the match one because we've already done this twice now. You know? Right? Lately, I can't just pull my, like that. I think my tension's a little higher or something. Hi, Aisha. How's it going? How's your blazer coming? It's pants from Jolly that I'm making cargo sweats. Cargo sweats. Oh, I think I saw that pattern. Was that a new pattern? Angela, do you make sewing videos? I saw your name someplace in a funny place and I was like, oh, she uploads to this folder too. I just realized that I accidentally sewed my first. You do not? Really? That's so funny. I have to go look at that name again. I was like, wait, I swear that's the same gal I see in the guild and the live streams. And I know there's quite a few people that around that make videos in there. You cut the wall? Oh, the wool. Ooh, how exciting. Oh, it's already taken out. Yeah, so I accidentally sewed my first yoke to the lower front as if I was flat felling when I meant to do a French seam. Aisha, so I was like, fine, I'll do French seams. And then I was like, oh, I can't do a French seam on this side. I have a drop-in pocket, and the raw edges would show. So now I'm going to do one flat felled and one French seam. Everything's fine. We're adaptable, right? Okay. So we'll do this seam again at a much smaller seam allowance. Hi Una, how's it going? Una's one of them. Have you been lurking? We are adaptable, exactly. We are. Oh, come on, Aisha. It's just another day at the office here. You know that. This fabric isn't the greatest on camera, though, is it? I'm kind of sick of, like, looking for fabric for camera and then being disappointed it's not great on camera. You know? Alright, so this one's a French seam, the other one's a flat felled seam, and we need to go to the iron for both. This one, so if we do the flat felled seam, at least now we can, what do we want to do? Do we want to go over the tucks like that? Or do we want to go like this? Oof. I think we want to go over the tucks like this. You think so? What makes the fabric? You know what? That's such a good question, Una. I feel like it's more like what makes a fabric look terrible on camera. Yeah, I think over, right? I think that looks pretty good. All right, so we'll trim this lower one here. This one's not too bad. I just feel like it's kind of like when it's a lot on screen, it's just a sea of this flat. It's hard to distinguish the details. Maybe it's because I'm not using contrast thread too. All right, we're just going to trim this one down so that when we go to the iron, we can iron both. The other fabrics that don't work are like twills hardly work. They make the cameras do something called moire effect. Have you ever stumbled upon that? It's awful. And my cameras will start glitching when it can't, when it's fighting to fill in lots of tiny little lines and details. I can't do any dark colors, blacks, things like that. You know, you can't see any detail with that. And when I'm doing a tutorial, it's better if my fabric has a very clear right and wrong side. There's a lot of things I have to look for. So yeah. Yep, small stripes, never look good. It's like you know, like when you have that one weather guy who chose that tie for today. You know, you're like, oh, dude, that wasn't the tie today. We're all looking at the tie dancing all over the screen, you know. So yeah. Okay, so on this side, let's just press it. Once, like this. It's already looking cute. I think this fabric was a good choice for this design. Can I wear this with jeans, or am I going to look very Americana? Because, yo, I'm not feeling so Americana lately. But you know what? That goes good with blue, right? All right, and then this side here will fold under. I don't really have a whole lot of colors of pants. I have, no. I actually, what I'm trying to say is, I don't have a lot of sane colors for pants right now. Like right now I'm wearing my pinion pants, which are like a pine green, you know, like they're kind of got that yellowish green. And I wear the heck out of these. I love them because I like the pants a lot. And then I have lots of blue jeans. And then I have 2 pairs of pants that are like olive drab green. I actually love that color. It's really pretty useful in my wardrobe. But then I have like 2 pairs of mustard colored pants. So I don't know why I just have lots of crazy colors, you know. I have a pair of jeans this color. It makes it harder to wear a lot of tops, and so I feel like I have way too many clothes and I still struggle to find an outfit. And you know what I realized lately? I'm sorry I can't see chat, so I'm probably talking over you guys. But I usually pick my pants first, and that's just because, like most people, we all have our opinions about our pants, right? We're like, not today, I don't want to wear those, you know? We have our favorites, and I am no different in that remark, that, you know, that. So I will often pick my pants first. This is a mistake in my wardrobe. What I need to do is pick the shirt. Because if I pick the shirt, I have fewer choices that'll go with the shirt, and it really helps. But if I pick the pants, I'm always like, what shirt goes with this? I can't really describe it, but it's been working. It's been working really good. I'm picking outfits out much faster. I had shared in the live chat feed this crazy woman who I think is crazy in all the best ways, who her friends were like, you need to show people how you pick out an outfit because it's bonkers. And it really was. So I shared the video with them, and the gal just hangs her clothes up in the closet, shirts, pants, and then she takes the first pair of pants and the first shirt. It does not matter if they go together or not. She just wears it. It's nuts. And I tried doing that. It was hard. But I found some really surprising things. And I started going, it broke me out of the matchy-matchy thing that I feel like I grew up with, and really shows my generation of wearing like matching things. And I really appreciated that. I'm growing. I still need to trim down that French seam a little bit, but I'm here ironing, so I'm almost done. I have a little ridge here though. Let's get rid of the ridge. No ridges. Oh, look at that. It was a big ridge. I hope you guys have all kinds of cool things in the comments right now about this, because I I love talking about like things like that, like how you pick your clothes out. So interesting to me. A deep indigo. I have deep indigo. Okay. Oh yeah, I think you're right, Tiffany. I think it would be more pinky. Okay. Yeah, okay. You could wear it with your bathing suit. I don't have a bathing suit. I mean, I do, but it has the tag still on it. I don't swim. I do flat fills on the outside always. Yeah, there you go. You saw it. Maxi dresses. Oh, okay, that's true. And you know what? What's great about a maxi dress is it's one thing. Like you say, it's easy. You love to be coordinated. I saw your video because someone wrote it in the live chat feed after social, which I missed that day. And I was like, oh my God, she's so adorable. And I think with vintage, it is just chef's kiss, you know? Yeah, you think so, Anne? Think I can wear with my army green stuff? I hope so. I love those. You know, one pair of jeans every day and your toaster sweater, right? Right, Tiffany? See? Yeah, exactly, Una. Me too. I love pairing prints and stuff together. I think mustard could work, and I'm just a little nervous about it, I guess. Okay, this is the side with the pocket. Okay, so I'm going to get this one over with. Oh, no, actually, I need to trim this seam down because it's all kinds of thready. And I probably should have trimmed it before I ironed it. Sometimes we try and like save ourselves time and it ends up costing us more time. And I was like, oh, I'm over here ironing, we're ironing. But I do need to trim some of this down. Sometimes you cut so good on a cross grain, you get all these little threads, right? With linen stuff. Linen, man, it's like, I'm gonna go relax. Let's trim this down a little bit. Oh, I love that, Dawn. That's inspiring. Yeah, this gal, like the way she put some very interesting things together. Like it would be like a t-shirt from a running race and a velvet skirt. Like it didn't matter. She says, yeah, sometimes I have outfits where even I think, oh, you know, but it doesn't make her change it. She's not trying to be edgy. She just, like, that's what she does. And she doesn't want to think about it. Ugh, this is so dangerous trimming this right now. And I kind of appreciated how just nonchalant she was about it. She wasn't trying to be hip or cool or anything. Rachel and I it really resonated with Rachel and I. Okay. I think that this French seam is going to suffer from some threads on the outside. So yeah. Maybe the mustard will work. I love the mustard pants. I don't love trying to find things to wear with them because often I go with white, you know, and you know, it's just, white's not really the greatest color for me to always wear. And I don't want to always wear white. I feel like it's easy. It's snowing, that's awesome. When I went to Sew Expo last year, I wanted my outfits to like I did a capsule wardrobe. It's my first time doing a little capsule wardrobe. And I did it for Sew Expo so that my outfits would be mix and matchable. It was actually a really good exercise. And then I put the outfits in that app called Stylebook app. Now, if you like doing this kind of thing, or you want to track your clothing, or say you're like, I don't want to wear the same 2 outfits in a row for a year. I don't know how anyone could do that, but maybe. I knew someone in high school like that. Anyway, you can, and if you want to like try different things out that you might not have thought of, it's a really great app for that. So you take photos of your garments, and I recommend, if you have an iPhone, you can do background remover in your iPhone, and it makes it even easier. But then you pull the garment in there, background remove it, and then you have all your tops and everything. And it can also randomize your outfits, and it keeps a calendar track. So like say you're on a trip or something, you don't want to keep track. It's really cool. So, oh, shoot. Oh, no, that's not good. Okay, and that's a good idea, the color wheel. You don't hopefully you don't have to leave the house, Aisha. Navy, black, gray, white, red, pink, hot pink. Okay, a lot of colors go with it, but not a lot of colors go with me. It's called Stylebook, the Stylebook app. So I don't know if you guys we've talked about this before, so I know this is like a repeat for some, but you know that podcast, there's a podcast called Articles of Interest. I'm not big, I love sewing podcasts. I just don't listen to a lot of them. I apologize. It's not my like interest outside of sewing. I listen to other things. Anyway, there is one though that I really like called Articles of Interest. It's so good. And that app, Stylebook is Apple only? Oh, interesting. Anyway, there was one of the episodes was all about the Clueless closet. Remember the movie Clueless? And she had that little computer that made her outfits for her. I vaguely remember this. There's this whole episode in Articles of Interest about the Clueless closet. It's really good. Not something I thought I'd be interested in. And one of the things they talk about is this Stylebook app, and that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to create the Clueless closet, and that's where I learned about that. So I thought that was kind of fun. All right, so now I'm just looking at the tops of my pockets. It looks like I got the top of the pocket, but look, I do have a little bit of raw edge showing right here. And that's not even, like I got the top of the pocket, but I didn't get the top of the fabric there. This side looks better. I just have some threads there. So we were just trying to hit that top of the pocket there. So we're just going to unpick this just a little bit right here. Yeah, so it is, you know what I recommend doing is the like pick 20 things in your closet and just start there and get into a routine. Just find like I hung the hanger on like a door, the back of a door, so it had a nice white background. It's daunting to think of photographing everything in your closet, so don't. I would just put like I said, like 20 things in there. I just did my capsule for Sew Expo. And I ended up putting more in there because I was like, oh, this is so easy and it's so useful. It really helped. And it'll randomize things so you can kind of go, huh. My problem with things like this is the rise of pants. Oftentimes the rise of pants is not compatible with the shirt I want to wear, So there's that. There we go. That's just a thread right there. There we go. Doesn't look very straight, but it is in there. This one looks better. This one looks not better. So if I top stitch this down, it'll it'll match the flat felling a little bit. Index. Okay, that's cool. So that might be the counterpart to Stylebook. You got tired of using too much work. Yeah, Anne, I agree with that. Like, when they last year started the ability to be able to take, so let me show you guys. Something you might not know your iPhone does. If you need to, I gotta find a photo of a picture of clothing. All right, so here, I took this photo of a Friday Pattern Company jacket. It's their little, it's a patina blouse they made in a wide wale corduroy, which I thought was really cute. So now, in an iPhone, if you're in your photos and you hold, did you guys see that? So now look, it is a backgroundless photo, right? So then if you do that, copy, or you can do this, add sticker. You can make this a sticker. Look, now I can actually text someone that sticker. Where's my stickers? No. How do I do the sticker? I can't remember it, sorry. Stickers. Oh, my brother. Okay. I don't know where they are. Oh, here it is. Here it is. You can actually make your own emoji now. So you can take that and that little sticker and put it, or just say copy and paste it into Stylebook, and it makes it like cuts out 4 steps, you know, which I really like. So it made the Stylebook app better, thankfully. Otherwise it's a few too many steps, a few too many clicks. The other thing you could do, if you really wanted to get into it, if you have a Canva, if you happen to have Canva, or some sort of background remover type of app, you can drop them all in there, just remove all the background all at once, and then import them. That's fun, Elizabeth. Oh, that's hilarious, Tiffany. I love that. Am I? Okay, good. All right, here we are to these tucks. Of course, I am coming at them again against the tuck grain. There we go. There we go. So we have our flat-felled yoke on this side. And then this one's French seam, so we're going to top stitch it down. Let's iron it. Sewing with the sided tech tips, yeah. I have plenty of those. One of the most annoying things is when people call someone my age not tech savvy, when my daughter doesn't even know how to open Word on a computer. I'm like, you know what? Go away. We invented tech. Just because we don't know how to do something right now doesn't mean we didn't know how to do it a different way 20 years ago. It's just changed. We're used to doing it the other way. I'm not proud that we popularized tech. I wish it didn't exist. Now I'm just adding this top stitch. You could just top stitch it along the edge, but I'm making it look a little more like the flat fell seam on the other side to fool people. There we go. Oh, I knew I ran out of bobbin, but I didn't believe it because we just wound that. Dang, I heard it. And Terry's obviously not here because she would have yelled at me. You just ran out of bobbin. No, I'm just teasing. It's not Terry's fault. Right? I know. People my age and like above and below, we're on our phones more than young people. They've done studies on it. I'm not proud of that. This thread right here is really bugging me. It's like a little more than a thread. Let's trim that. Hopefully my back stitch doesn't show right here very much. I think the weird thing about tech now, I was just talking about this with my office mate yesterday, is that a long time ago, there was like one app for each thing. Now there's a lot. And so we all use things differently because we all have different needs and we all have different, you know, access to things. So you missed it, Terry. There's my back stitch. That actually blends in pretty darn good. All right. We have two fronts. We have two fronts. What's next? The placket. We have our interfacing. So let's put in our placket. Thankfully, we don't know how to use a flip phone. All right. So we want to, the first thing you want to do in the instructions is you fold over a 1/2 inch here, like this. I find that I will get a more parallel placket if I do the farther fold first. Other people may be more accurate than me. But I do this one first. Then I put in my 1/2 inch or the turn back or what, you know, whatever pattern I'm doing. Is it really that far over? I guess so. And now I can see, am I parallel here too? Often I'm not. Actually, let's put our interfacing in here. The ultimate test. If we can get a nice 1 inch strip in here and we have a nice even seam allowance here, we'll know we're on the right track, right? Getting this right in that little iron fold I just did. All right. See, look, right here I knew that was going to bow out a little, and that's because the seam stretched it out a little. Plus I ironed it more there, and remember, my fabric wasn't pre-ironed. I don't think we sew this yet, though. I'm pretty sure this might be tied into the neck, and I might be thinking of the way I originally sewed mine. And I'm not sewing it. I'm sewing it the way they have it this time. You don't know how, you know, people in the 60s that know how to copy paste. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's just everywhere. Like I said, like my daughter, you know, when she left her high school, she realized that everything she knew was through the high school's system, right? So they used, I think, Google Classroom or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. And you know, when they, you know, matriculate, they just lose access to all that stuff. And so she was able to get her resume that they made her write in some sort of thing. And then, but it was in that program, and she didn't have that. And I didn't know what it was at the time because she wasn't explaining it to me. And so I was like, huh, this is interesting. My pocket's like kind of far over here. Uh-oh. Let me see here. I guess I put that too close. Wait, did I really put that too close? Huh. I really did. The one I'm wearing is like an inch away from the placket. Well, shoot dang. We're cutting it close there. But yeah, so it was kind of a struggle to figure out like how to get her up to speed and stuff. I'm troubleshooting here. If I go here, this, and then this. It also really painfully shows how crooked my pocket is stitched. I think I may have used the wrong notch on my pocket. This is the under placket, so I can make it a little narrower and adjust the collar. What the heck, man? I'm disappointed. I think I'm gonna back that off a little bit like that. Like this. I'm going to put this down first. Get that straighter. We're going to make that a very narrow turn back here, because we need to be able to fold this over about an inch. We could make this 3/4 of an inch actually. Let's make this a 3/4 inch placket. Sorry, I'm adjusting on the fly a lot today. I'm also not cutting very straight. Oof. Right up to the edge almost. They say, or I say, you don't get better at sewing until you make lots of mistakes. Using the warmth of the mat there to turn that up a little bit. It's hot. One of the other projects I want to sew this year, probably before summer, is I want to make myself car seat covers. I don't want synthetic car seat covers, you know? I want cotton. It gets too hot for those others, you know? And I'm going to use scraps, I think, to make them. They may even be linen. I'm going to make a flannel set for winter because I have weird large pieces of flannel left over from shirts, because when I do plaid matching, I'll end up buying a little extra. And then I have these weird leftover chunks of flannel, you know, sometimes a half a yard, sometimes a quarter yard, sometimes 3/4, you know. Wouldn't flannel car seat covers be so nice? You know, plus it's natural fiber. I actually did that on my other one. This one, Elizabeth. Yeah. I don't need to recut. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, so we just fold the placket. And then I don't think we stitch it, do we? I'm looking at the instructions. It's kind of funny. I think it's dangerous to put all this folding here, but maybe it's because of something you're going to do at the end. I don't know. You do you do the mending patch then, and do the patch pocket, the mending patch. You make it. Then you do the sleeve placket. And I imagine you do that now because, oh, I didn't mark that. Because it's like a smaller piece to deal with, which is nice. And then you do the center back seam. So you don't sew the placket right now because you're going to incorporate the neckline finish when you sew the collar to it. So put a few pins in here. So it would have been nice to know I hadn't made that error for a couple more days, but okay, fine. Goldfinch, point out my error sooner. Okay. So now we have the sleeve placket, which is going to be on the back. And unfortunately, I have to get this piece out because I didn't mark the slit. It better be on there. I did mark it. I mean, I marked that. Two and a half inches, 3.5 inches long. Take the wearer's right back piece. Okay. This is my shoulder seam right here. And from the bottom edge of the sleeve, which is this straight edge, the underarm, we're going to mark this like this, 2.5, and then 3.5 long. And I'm going to do both. There we go. And then we should have our tucks right here. They're so far away from that, that makes me really nervous. That I did it from the wrong end. Okay, and then now we're gonna do a right and left sleeve with the binding. So, if this is the left sleeve and this is the right side, we're going to sew from this side. And if this one is the right sleeve and this is the right side, we're going to sew from this side. Now, do we have these pinned opposite of each other? We do. All right. Okay, so we're going to put the binding on. Now, when I sew binding, placket binding to a sleeve, I like to start the bias from the, oh my gosh, I just got that confused. I like to sew it from the wrong side to the right side, but I place it under my machine with the right side up, and I'll show you why in just a second. Okay, so there's that. This one is like this. Okay, so I do it like this. So I'll put the piece of bias under, but this is the right side of the fabric, the public side. And the reason I do this is because when we get to this slit right here at the top, I want to be able to see it. I'm going to decrease my stitch length a little bit. We're going to just sew this a straight line 1/4 inch seam. I can't see my thing. Okay, cool. So we're going to sew this straight, right? So think of it this way. Can you see how the top of this pulls away from this edge? Essentially, you're sewing a straight line. You're pivoting at the top of this slit. But it is actually a straight line. So you can sew it so that you're pivoting like this, right? But that pivot is not lined up against the raw edge of the bias. Right? So now I open this and then I continue on with my straight. So see how the bias was a straight line? And it's roughly a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. See, but right here, it dips in. So there's that one. I love doing these, Julie. That's so funny. Okay, and so same thing on this one. Right side up. And I do it with the right side up so I can see that little fragile, part at the top of the slit. It took me probably 30 years to remember to do that, just saying. I finally was like, wait, why don't I just do this from the other side? The other thing you can do is do one stitch across the top of that slit, and it does help the slit behave a little bit, but essentially you are doing that if you sew it this way. All right, I really cut off too much there, didn't I? There we go. All right, so now let's go press this. And see, this one I didn't sew like kind of perfectly there. We're just going to trim down this a little tiny bit right there. All right, and we're going to press from the wrong side. I just press it so that the seam is towards the slit. And then you can continue to press, right, so that you're enclosing it. We're binding the edge, so it's not a facing, right? So you just want to cover up that stitch line that we just sewed. I don't even think I do this in my sleeve placket video. like do it from the wrong side like that. That's how recent I finally figured out to do that, because I would always forget. Every time I would do one the other way, and then I would be like, wait, I don't have to do it this way, and I would do it the other way for the other sleeve. Okay. Oh, awesome, Elizabeth. We'll do whatever works for you. All right, and now I'm gonna sew this, and we're on the right side of the garment. That's why now we can close it and we can control what the world sees, right? Because we're on the right side. And we can trim this flush, right, like this. I put that back stitch kind of far off, and I don't really want that to come undone. And then the last thing I do is I poke this to the inside. I line these up at the end, and I sew a little triangle from the outer folded edge to nothing where all the stitching is. Like that. Come on. What's going on here? And then that way it stays to the inside, like that. And then the last thing is you fold one side back. So the narrow side is flat, but this one, you know, it's a placket, right? So like a button placket, same idea. There we go. So that'll be ready for the tucks and the cuff. These are still like folded together. Okay, where's the other sleeve? Here it is. So again, it's a straight line. Make sure they match. Triangle at the top. Thick. Okay. Oh, and then fold it back. Except for one shirt pattern that I've seen in my life, the side with the pleats is the side that gets turned under, because you're going, you know, like this, right? You're closing the cuff like that. You know, like that. It's kind of bright though. Okay, now we're doing the center back seam, and I am going to flat fellet. think they both have their place. My pet peeve with sleeve plackets is when they make the opening really big. I don't get that. Because especially if they don't have a button planned for that opening right there. Like this is fine. 3 inches is usually the standard. This one's 3.5. And when they do those tower plackets that are absurdly long, I don't like that. All right, so I just put this, I'm hoping, wrong sides together. Yeah. I'm gonna do a flat felled seam back here. This one I know is 5/8 inch seam. You prefer a real placket? It is a real placket. Why is this lined up? Look at that cut job. Pretty terrible. All right, and then she says to do this toward press left. Okay, I like that. I like that it says that way, like which way to do it. So that means this one, the left back will be the one that's trimmed. So I'm going to trim that now. Yeah, don't you do the little tiny button there though, Terry? I think if someone likes to roll up their cuffs, or they have that little like button tab thing, there's reasons. It's just my pet peeve. Like I don't like it because usually with a longer sleeve, I don't want a big gaping opening there because it's cold. You feel it, you know? That's my reasoning. Not because it's like right or wrong. I don't care about that. I have a video on how to sew bias plackets, Kathleen. It's like one of my like more watched ones. So it's like there in the how-to. And then there's a tower placket one as well. Oops. Oh, the sun's starting to hit my thing. My machine. I thought I got that lined up. That's annoying. This fabric kind of, it does give the vibe that it's inside out. There is something about it. It's kind of casual that way. Look at that straight sewing there. Forever immortalized. If we sew this part crooked and parallel to it, maybe it'll cover it up. Maybe it'll hide in the pleat. That's the back here. It's a really deep pleat. So it'll definitely hide in there. Because I know there's at least one of you going, oh my gosh, you're not going to fix that. Nope, I'm not fixing it. Funnily, I do better sewing when I'm not live. It's just how it is. And that I'm okay with it. There's just other things to worry about for me in life. Certain things though, I will stop and fix. And I actually enjoy it. I enjoy the fixing of it sometimes. This seam looks really wide for a flat fill seam. Was I like not folding it enough? Huh. I kind of want to do this. Fold this up to the seam edge. If you want to get it parallel. Here we go. Yeah, I like this a little better. I think that seam allowance under there was because of the linen. You know, the linen's a little bit fraying, and it gets caught on that edge, and I can't tell. So this way I'm making sure I get it all the way up to that seam, like just in front of it. Maybe it'll be a little straighter. Let's hope. Right there. Yeah, the pleat's huge. I do have a sewing room at home, and I'm actually moving it right now into basically this little like cottage we have that was my daughter's bedroom. So it's not set up yet, but I'm gonna try and move as much from here to there as I can and just keep this for live streaming. But yeah, when I bought that Juki last year, almost a year ago, I made my first home sewing room in a really long time, and it's really been nice. I really like it. Oof, this is a little wide right here. Why does this look so bad? I don't know. Anyway. All right, let's do our pleat back here. I think it's, oh, that's such a random number. 2 7/8 away from center back. And my first seam is this one here. So let's see if I can get that. Because you want to do a nice parallel line. I mean, you know, it's close to 2 7/8. Let's see. Which is just shy of 3 inches, you know. Let's pin it too, so it doesn't wormily away. And then we're gonna do a 4-inch long stitch line. Like that, and like that. I know you probably cannot see that. but it's marked there. Is this project? This is for me. I need to talk to Hearts because I know they really want more projects. Wait. That's not it, right? That's just like a discrepancy in the fabric. Not a discrepancy, but you know what I mean? Like a little slubby thing. Oh yeah, okay. All right, and then we're gonna center this pleat. Like this. Like that. There we go. Do you think that, I wonder if it's in the instructions to reinforce this. It's pretty loose though. But you know, it's not such a bad idea to actually do, I'm just gonna sew like a little L at the bottom there. Just, oh no, I caught, are you kidding me? One stitch. No good deed goes unpunished, man. Sheesh. I don't want to accidentally catch the linen. There we go. Phew. Let's do that again. All right. Hearts is really open to whatever I want to sew, but they also need to be carrying the pattern. So I'm not sure they carry this particular pattern because it might be PDF only, but they do carry PDF only patterns. I'm going to shut my blinds real quick. All right, now we're going to do our back neck facing. Let's, oh, I didn't need to reinforce it because we're going to do the back neck facing. That's funny. Let's get this nice and centered here. We're about to immortalize it, right, with the back neck facing here. So you want to make sure you're got this nice and flat. I'm just going to pin it down over here. Stabilize it a little bit. Okay, and then get our back neck facing out. Our hanging loop. That's not that. Here's the hanging loop right here. And let's decide on our label too. Just sewing the hanging loop real quick. 120, okay. This is one of those projects that I feel like it sneaks up on you that it's done. Man, I just cannot sew straight. Look at that, how this is narrower down here. Did I just not cut that straight? Like, what the heck? All right, what do we got? We're really scraping the barrel lately. This thing's like a patch. This is really all I have left. Wow. Oh no, I have this, but I don't know about that. Really don't have much left. Okay. I think this one's perfect. I'm probably thinking about sewing. I probably am. This would look nice though, one of these. This one I'm scared to use. It looks scratchy. I definitely did not nail it on this one. It's always that. And this one says made with love, so it's more like a gift one. And this is a sheep knitting. I don't know why this one seems just kind of cheesy. Next to this, it's kind of funny. You do, Nora? That's awesome. I mean, Kathleen, sorry. Maybe. The thing is, I don't have a, I guess I don't have any more knit print ones. So we could put like a little piece of bias across the top here. Ooh, we have a lot of fabrics that could work in this case. Maybe this one. I think I'll do that. Maybe. I think this needs to be a lot lower though, because we're going to have to cut out the neckline here. That's not, well, yeah, it kind of is. All right, let's see. Let's see how much we're cutting off here. We just need to get to the neckline edge. So we really need to be done about 1 inch below the top there on this. So let's see, maybe we could do this like down here. I'm just making this up now. I do not think I'm going to survive in this office in the summer. Man, it is warm in here. It's probably my computer, the iron, the full south side, the building, you know. Actually, what we'll do is we'll do one more side. Every time I do this, I do it differently, and I'm never really that thrilled because bias is so fiddly. But the good thing about it is it doesn't unravel, so you could actually just stitch it down with raw edges showing and it's fine. Put that in there. Okay. I need to get my foot off there. There we go. Let's iron it real quick. We're also going to iron this edge here under. Putting a line of stay stitching there is actually going to make this easier, so let's do that first. You know what would be fun to use? Oh, it's at my house. The shearing foot. I have to remember to get that because when we put on the bias spacing on the hem, going around those curves with that shearing foot, remember when we discovered that? That was like, it was like on that style arc pattern. What pattern was that? Oh, the tunic. Remember that? That was so amazing. Felt like for the first time in my life I discovered a hack. All right, let's just pull this a little bit. Right, Jesse, I know. I often forget my tags lately too. Actually, lately I just don't want the tag on there. Like, I don't like the look of it. Like, I love my little personal tag, but at the same time, I'm like, does it really need to be on there? I don't know. It's so white, so sometimes when it's like this right here, where it's a little more mellower. You could even bind this whole edge if you wanted. You know, that'd be cute. Okay, I have to move this. I keep walking by it and touching it. I don't like it. Yeah, all right, the shearing foots. Oh, this, I wanted to press this real quick. Just. Okay. All right, so we know we want this well below that inch there. So something like that, right? Angela, it is taking me years. What you're seeing is my last 3 tags from that calendar. But, you know, like, I'd certainly sew enough things to have used all those tags in 1 year. And I still didn't. So, good luck. But I love it. I would do it again. Like, I 100% don't have regrets. And when they reeled what they were this year, I was kind of like, okay, I'm okay with that because I do feel like some of them are a little hard to use. So, yeah. All right, so let's see. Let's put the hanging loop. She shows how to do this, doesn't she? I always just fold it like this. So there could be a better way in the instructions. I'm just trying to get it the width of this thing here. So yeah. Empty bags of tags. I have so many ideas for tags, but I don't want to order them again because I'm still selling the last few. I'm about to just take everything off my website too. I'd rather not be selling anything at all besides downloadable things. And next time I do a tag, I'll probably do it like pre-order style. Like, these are the ones I'm thinking. Which ones do you guys like? I would really like some gender neutral tags so that because I make a lot of things for a lot of different people, and I would really think that it would just be better. Oops. Let's get that in there further. Okay. So I'm folding. Okay. There's this. So you yoink that off there. Push that in further than you think. Put this tag on top. I'm making this look so fiddly. It doesn't need to be this fiddly because you could pin it. I don't know why I didn't. Oh yeah, glue. That is smart. Good idea. Okay, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. Okay, and then this one also pinned. Usually I pick the tag out before the live stream, like 50-50. I'll do that. I'm not really liking this. I think you just need to go under there, buddy. Sorry. You can peek through the hole. If I hadn't started sewing, I really shot myself on the foot there. One of the tag ideas I have is I really want one that I can draw on for the rise of my pants. I would really like to, and I have a design, I've thought about it a lot because it's kind of a tricky design to do. I want to be able to write on my makes which pair of jeans they are. Because I sometimes can't remember, especially if I because when I buy denim, especially if you're buying it from somewhere that only lets you buy whole yards, I will buy enough to make 2 pairs. So then I have 2 pairs of jeans, and they may not be the same as one another. And I want to know which rise is this, what is it compatible with, you know? Here we go. He's just kind of poking through there. Ooh, velvet tags. Oh, cool, Margaret. That's good to know. I feel like that would be the best way because then we could just put forward the designs we like. I want one, like I said, I want a few that are just gender neutral, like that you just, you know, it doesn't say fabulous on it. Because I don't really like that. Like, it's not about gender, I guess. It's just, I want things simpler. I don't know how to describe it. I don't think my dad wants a shirt that says fabulous either. So, okay, so we're going to put this on here. And we're going to, not to pick on fabulous, I'm just saying, there were quite a few. I was like, I don't know what to do with this one. I'm not quite into up to the seam edge there, so let's move that up there. Trying to, there's no fabric behind this in some spots, so it's a little tricky. Here we go. Can you see okay? Fabulous. You're it. I like that. That's cute. I don't know if this is a tag, but someone said the phrase "toile will tell." I thought that'd be a cute tag. It could exist already. Tags are expensive. That's the other thing about them. Is you don't really start getting a price break until you're in the making 250. That doesn't sound like that many until you're asking 250 people to each buy at least one, you know? So there's that. Because most people don't want more than like 2 or 3 of the same tag. Is it crooked? A little bit. Did it look crooked when we put it on there? No. Oh, man. That little thing I did right there has actually not been a good thing to do. Man, I'm failing on this shirt left and right. Oh, well. Okay, I'm just trimming up the neck piece. All right, where are we at? That's all I wrote on the instructions because then I started chatting with my office mate. Let's see what's next. What would be normally next? It'd be good to get the, I think you do your mending patch. Oh, now you do your shoulders and then the collar. So let's do the shoulders and then we'll do the collar and the cuffs and the hem on Saturday. Ooh, that's kind of a lot, not gonna lie. The hem on this shirt is no joke. And the placket. So you can do the placket, will be easy. We already have it all prepped. So let's do our shoulders. I'm gonna go back and clean up the back vent too after the stream. All right, so we're gonna put this, I think I'm going to do a flat felled seam, less ironing. Flat felled, less ironing. I know it doesn't sound like it, but it's less ironing when you're wearing the garment, you know what I mean? Jelly beans. So we want to do this wrong sides together. Maybe you do French seam. No, we want to do French seam for the underarm because we have the way the hem is constructed. It'll be better. You can do flat felled, and you can especially do a flat felled on a seam like that when you have fabric that doesn't have a right or wrong side. If you have a fabric that has a right and wrong side, you will have a little bit, well, it's not a vent. It's not a vent, so never mind. Not worth mentioning. You could do, never mind. Okay, and we'll do our other one. We have a shirt. Did I do that right sides together? You guys. Oh my goodness. I'm struggling. I'm going to do this off camera, I guess. I mean, I'll fix that. All right, Angela. Have a good day. You just saw me do a mistake anyway. We did that right side to wrong side after all that. I can't even do this on here because it goes to that one. Sometimes when you have a fabric that doesn't have a right or wrong side, it's kind of the worst. I low-key feel like this shirt has been cursed from me from the beginning when I started sewing it too. Like when I did this white one, oh my goodness. Because of that big cutting error, it really was such a mind game getting it together. I didn't go over all the things I had to do because they're not going to matter to you guys. But the gymnastics I had to do to make the placket work, because I had to piece the placket together, which you can't see, but that meant that I had one placket sewn on top and one sewn to the inside, and when I did the collar, each side of the collar had to be sewn differently. The hems, everything, it just affected everything. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. You think, I know I have met people that specifically pick fabrics with no right and wrong side because they think it's going to be easier. And it kind of on paper sounds like it, but honestly, if you want to have two lefts, go for it. Because that's what happens, right? I designed some fabric that I've never used for tutorials, and the one fabric says right on it, like the directional right, all over it, right. And then the other one says left. So I thought it would be kind of useful for tutorials to have rights and lefts. And I just have never gotten around to using it. Yeah, right, Justine? That's a good tip. You would think because I have the pockets and the tucks on there, I don't think a piece of tape was going to save me here. My mind is just kind of, it's a little mushy because it's doing French seams on part of it and flat fill on the other. They're both wrong sides together, though, so that's actually not a good excuse. Anyway, I just made a mistake. It happens. On your pattern pieces, too? Interesting. I think Cashmerette purposely makes you cut their designs with the wrong side of the fabric up, only because they know that's going to trip me up. I think they didn't do it that way until I started working with them, and they were like, you know what? I know they don't. I'm just teasing. But man, that has really gotten me a couple times. It's so different. Oh, you meant the fabric pieces. Oh, yeah. Yeah, whatever speaks to you, right? Putting it on the back, putting it on the right side, whatever it is. All right. Ground zero. Okay, here we go. Wrong sides together. You do, Jan? What a maniac. I can't call Cashmerette maniacs, but I want to for doing that. It's fine if you know it, or the pattern has no asymmetry whatsoever. But the second it has asymmetry, you're cooked. Trust me. Yeah, I think that's the like way you would do that in home sewing. It is wrong sides out. But I also think that's changed over the years, because there was a long time where you wouldn't cut two layers either. So you cut like single. Hi, Susan. I think I said Heidi, right? Oh, good. Are you the one that this is your first live? Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming and saying hi and stuff. We always love it. I'm almost wrapping up here. I'll finish this up on Saturday when I'm in control of the thermostat too. And it can be off. See, that's for me what it is. It's when you have a print, I absolutely need to cut it right side up almost all the time. Like most prints are either I'm either matching them or there's a motif or something that I'm aiming for. So yeah, I can't do that from the wrong side. If it doesn't say on the pattern pieces, cut with your fabric wrong side up, I don't know. I think there's a lot of, I hope I'm not unique that I don't ever use the cutting layout, ever. So if I have to learn that, the cutting layout, I do with client stuff. Like, it's not like I don't with with client stuff, but it has to be really obvious too, because they will put, you know, they shade the pieces, and if that's the only indication, that's true. Wait, you think of petrol as a bluish color, and I think of petrol as like a sulfury color. Interesting. Yeah, if you're like, I can't tell, like everybody changes what their shading is, you know, so like I don't ever assume that shaded in a cutting layout that one is one way and one is the other. You know what I mean? Like when the wrong side of the fabric is shaded and the right side isn't, or whatever. If that's not really obvious, I am gonna miss it probably. And I'm reading everything, but there's just certain things, if that's the only indication, I usually will look at the layout and go, okay, yeah, oh wait, there's 4 of that. Oh yeah, that's cut 4, good to know. Like I kind of double check the cut list against the layout for that. But yeah, it's savage making you cut things wrong side up. I'm flat felling these, yes. UK refers to it as petrol. What color? Like the yellowish color, right? Yeah, like gasoline, right? I think of that as like a yellowish color, right? Like a weird yellowish. By the way, aqua, petrol, or teal, whatever you like color like, that's great. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, ochre. That's a good word too, ochre. All right, which way do we want to go? To the back, right? I know it doesn't seem like this shirt came together pretty quickly when I sewed it, but it actually did. But if you're doing all of this, like flat felling and stuff like that, you know, you're sewing it twice. But, you know, the tucks, which are kind of the main feature, that didn't take long at all, right? You were probably thinking, oh, goodness, she has 6 of these, and you're like, oh, it's done, right? But these really long seams seem like they take a while. But remember, we're setting in our sleeves right now without having to set them in. So we're about to have sleeves on this garment. Really? Interesting. Hi, Amy. Yeah, I've pretty much sewn this shirt 4 times now, Amy, because I keep making mistakes. So, you know, it's been a usual day. What? You're going to say petrol is a dark teal? What? All right, let's press this. We love to see our sleeves are correct there. Look at how this is stretched out. It'll be fine because this isn't ironed right in here. See? It's already fixed. Don't panic. I'm going to have to iron my collar and cuff pieces so that they'll sew to my garment, because they will definitely not at this point. I sort of want to decrease the cuff size. I have time to think about that though. I have a new flat felling foot and it's at home. I got it mostly because of the Drafter's Grid dress by Robert Wood. I'm flat felling that whole dang thing together. So I thought it would be useful for that. It's a little fiddly to use because you have to thread the edge of the fabric into the foot at the beginning of the seam. Like you start it and then you pull out a layer of fabric on top every time. But it does it perfectly and it does cut out one whole step. So it's worth it in some ways. And it was dirt cheap. It was like, you know, I don't know, $7 or less, maybe $3. Can't remember. Feet are so cheap. I love it. Unless you have a Bernina or you're buying like dealer feet. Then I know they can be really expensive because I have a few of those too. But on my industrial, they're really affordable. There aren't like dealer feet for a industrial. It's pretty universal. Almost done. I have these two pieces of sweater knit I really need to sew. Because I had them last year and I didn't. And I think it's because I changed my mind. And yeah, here we are, another season. I really need those sweaters. I gotta get on it. Yeah, I agree, Jan. Hi, Allison. Yeah, no worries. I'm almost done for today too. Oof. I don't think it does work like a narrow hem foot because it sews it like this, right? Like it's doing this as one step, right? And that's funny because I also bought rolled hem foots, and I completely agree with you, Justine. Oh, you're zooming again, Tiffany? Jeez. I, like some of the widths of the rolled hem I can get to work. Others I'm like, what's happening here, you know? You know what? I will say this solid shows every little flaw in my stitching. Like, it just looks wiggly. It's partly the linen, partly, you know, me. That's how solids are, though. They show everything. Yeah, I want to get good at that flat fell foot because I wouldn't mind doing like a tiny video about it just so that if I can figure out anything that might help, it might help someone else. Because it is pretty nifty, you know? It's not going to work on every flat fell seam. But if you're joining a lot of things that don't have a lot of steep curves, it'll be probably really helpful. And like that drafter's grid dress is like 11 billion 4-inch long flat felled seams. Yeah, right, exactly, Terry. It professional. I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, the narrow hem does that on the edge, but it doesn't. It's not doing just that. It's doing the right? Was it doing, isn't it doing the whole thing? I can't remember now. I feel like it does the whole thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. The rolled hem foot is also equal amounts, and the flat fell is not. And as far as do I think it looks more professional or uniform? It looks more uniform, 100%. So I guess that makes it look more professional. So yeah, there is that. But like I said, you start your seam, and then you it's like this. Then you tuck one side of it, put it on top, and then you keep going, and then it's fine. So I'll try and remember to bring it in and show you guys on Saturday. I keep forgetting about it. And try and bring also the sharing foot, because that might be handy on the curved hem. I'm already dreading binding the curved hem, and I love binding. But I don't know. That's the one thing. It feels really chunky down here. Because it's linen, you know. So, I don't know, like here, see how it does that right here? I was really careful. And when I press it, it isn't pulling up, but like right through here, it's so thick. So, the funny thing is, I think the hem turned out really nice for how hard it was. And so when I think about doing it and I think, yeah, you didn't do a very good job, I look at it and I'm like, I did do a good job. It didn't feel good doing it, and it didn't feel like it was doing a good job. And when I iron it, it feels, you know, like linen is very loose and open weave and kind of flexible. this hem is not flexible, so I really mostly have to iron this shirt so that right here at this vent, it's not like gathered into this hem here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to show you. So it's a really nice finish. Yeah, you could do a facing. Yeah, that would work. That would work really good. I think that would be easier. I might try that. I have enough fabric to do that, and it would use up more of my fabric, which is a one thing that would be good. So yeah, maybe I'll try a facing. No. You see how my plackets folds to the right side on this side, to the inside on this side, and that's because of that cutting error I made. This is actually a seam right here. You can't even tell. But yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, Saturday we'll finish this up. We have quite a bit, but it's looking really good. Tempted to wash it so it crinkles up again. We have our tucks on one side. I like how uniformy it looks, like a uniform. Oh, I need to make sure my my yoke matches there. All right, my little pocket. Yeah. Of course, Julie, anything for you. We have our sleeve, and we'll have our tucks here like this. Right? Yeah, it's looking really good, right? It looks so heathered on screen. It's not, I mean, I guess it is, but not, you know? So, anyway. All right. Well, thanks for suffering through all my mistakes today, as usual. I know you love the sewing drama. And we'll see you Saturday, same time, same place. I hope if you're sewing it, you can catch up to me and we can finish ours together. That'd be great. So, all right, guys. See you soon. Bye.